welcome everybody. This is Charles from Charlie and John's, and I'm really pleased today to have Ben Leese with me from Wolves in Alcatraz and McAllister, lead guitarist. And welcome, Ben. Hello, mate.
How you doing?
Really well, really well. Really good to have you on board. You've been a fan of Charlie and John's, haven't you, for a little while? So
yeah, I think it popped up on my Facebook memories a number of weeks ago. I think it's been over 12 months now I've been using your strings. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, excellent. And no, we're really pleased to have you on board. It's nice to have, well, it's nice to have anyone, but when you got somebody like yourselves who's lead guitarist in two good bands, not just one, that's fantastic. So, and it's electric guitar you play, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I do dabble in acoustic, but it's mainly like acoustic nights, and I don't really write much on acoustic.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, that's good. So, tell us a bit about yourself, Ben. How'd you get into guitar?
I've been playing about, God, must be nearly 20 years. Yeah, I was in high school. I remember. Yeah, God, I am. So my dad one day says to me, come down to Christmas time, he says, what do you want for Christmas? Now I was quite a bored child. I didn't really go out and socialise much. It wasn't really for me. And I said, well, I'm bored. I said, I want something to do. I want to play guitar. And he looked at my mum, and they've always been the sort of people where if we're going to do something, we're going to do it right. And so he says, right, well, in that case, we'll go to Academy of Sound, Sound Control as it was then in Hanley. He says, we'll look at some guitars, and if you're serious, we'll get into it, and we'll go from there. So I did, and I picked a guitar. It was a Schecter Black Hawk, like a sort of a humbuckery strap shaped thing, which is really cool, nice sunburst colour.
Yeah.
And he says, right, you've got 30 days to learn something that we'll recognise that you've actually sat there and learned, you've dedicated a bit of time to it, or it'll go back. So it's because I don't want a white elephant.
Yeah.
You if you want it, you want it. And I did. I think it was Auld Lang Syne that I ended up playing for 30 seconds to a minute. And that was it then. It was from there. I got into my first band, indie sort of band, at about 17. And I've been in bands ever since.
Yeah, fantastic. I'd never put you down as an Auld Lang Syne, man.
Nope, me neither.
There we go. Oh, that's great. So, and like you say, you never look back. I kind of wish I'd done that with my boys.
No.
Now I got twin boys at 10, and one's learning electric and one's learning the bass.
Brilliant. You've already got the foundations of a band there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's great fun, actually. It's great fun. So in actual fact, we are just about to launch. Well, I'll say just about to. We're probably 2 or 3 months off launching our range of a range of bass strings. So that's really exciting. Nobody. This is the first time we've announced it. So yeah, they are not actually handmade. Yeah, they're not actually handmade. They're power wound rather than hand wound, but they're made by the same people. And they sound absolutely beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to them coming out. It's been a while, but obviously it's a big investment putting a new range in. So
yeah,
really looking forward to that. So so do you play a bit of bass?
I've been known to dabble. I've owned basses. I've owned 2 basses. I had a Trace Elliott 120 watt combo, which was immense. But I've always, when I have played bass, I've played Thunderbirds. It's because they're just massive and they thump a lot. But yeah, I did a bit of bass in what would have been like a pop punk sort of covers band.
Okay.
Which it ultimately died a death, and we were rehearsing one night. One of the guys had to go, another one hadn't been able to make it, and it was just me and the drummer. And I says, well, I've got some riffs. I've also got my guitar with me, as well as my bass. Can I show you some riffs? He said, yeah, okay. So I showed him some riffs, and those songs became the first Wolves and Alcatraz songs.
Oh.
No, don't worry about it. I used to.
And you're actually sponsored by a guitar company, aren't you?
Yeah. So I was a bit drunk one night. I had a PRS. It was a PRS. One of the SE Customs with like the double cutaway with the bit of the F hole, like the semi-acoustic hole. So I've had 2 PRSs. I like them. I think they're great guitars, but I just don't get on with them at all. I went to the Rhythm House in Hanley, which is Stoke's. It's the best guitar shop in Stoke. It really is. Neil, who is the drummer for Demon, runs it. His son is Sam, drummer for Static Dress, who are going around the world at the moment. And I went in and I said, Neil, I'm looking for something semi-hollow. I don't want a 335 because everybody's got them. And I saw this Hagstrom Viking in the corner. So I'm sitting there strumming it, and it's really nice. It's more solid than the 335, and it feels nice. The scale length is more like it's a longer scale, more like a Fender sort of style. And I said, can I part X this PRS against it? He says, do a straight swap. He says, you can take it with you, bring your guitar in tomorrow, which I did. And I went from there, and it became my number 1 guitar for ages and ages. And so I'm sitting there. I've had sitting on the sofa. I've had probably 3 or 4 Friday night pints, and I've gone, you know what? I said to Mum, I'm gonna get an endorsement with Hagstrom. I've decided, and I went on their website, filled out a bit of a question form, saying, if you've got any questions to ask us, and within probably 48, 72 hours, I've got someone from their company saying to their distributor, sort this guy out. I said what my influences were. I said why I liked him. I said how long the band had been together. And I went from there, really. So I started with that.
You don't ask,
I got I got Hagstrom Phantom, and then I picked up secondhand a Super Swede, a limited edition one, and I've never looked back. And they're fantastic. They're real Gibson killers and Fender killers. They are.
Oh, that's awesome. I never actually played one myself, but I must give it a go. Sounds great. So
I really would. If you like a Fender scale length, but on like a Gibson sort of body, something like
fair enough.
You won't look back.
And just partner it with Charlie and John Strings.
That's it.
You got a killer there.
That's what I do.
So, do you guys write your own songs?
Yeah. So Wolves have always written their own songs.
Yeah.
And we've thrown the odd cover in. One thing we've never liked to do is linger on a cover. So we used to do one cover, one gig, and that's it. Now we're finding covers that we are leaning into more. So Primary Explosive by Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, Prayer of the Refugee, Rise Against, Physical by Adamant. And because we're playing them a bit more, we're perfecting a bit more, putting our own spin on it. We'll play the odd cover. Most of the stuff otherwise is all our own material. Yeah. And the stuff for MacReady is all original apart from Last by 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. And do you get involved in the writing process, or?
Yeah. I mean, the band, no matter which it is, whether it's Wolves or MacReady, we write everything as a whole.
Okay.
The one thing I really hate writing is lyrics. Because I've never thought of myself as a good lyricist. Then when Russ, our original drummer, was an Alcatraz drummer, left, I was like, oh, okay, well, someone's got to pick up this mantle now. Russ did the majority of the lyrics for the band. And because he wrote to beats, he found it easier, and you give him half a bottle of Jack Daniels or a bottle of wine and he's away. He really was. It's fantastic. So like I wrote the lyrics for... Exactly, yeah. So I wrote the lyrics for More, and then everything else, Savage Love was mine. But the majority was Russ. Dave's done some, but now I'm trying to write. I'll think of a line, or I'll think of a riff, and then as I think of a riff, I'll think of a line to go with it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's don't have like a set process.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
We'll be sitting there, Luke and Dave will be jamming away, and I'll sit there with a pad and pen, think, about this will fit this, play that again. Yeah. So I'm getting more into it now, and I think it's just finding the right combination of words and not making it too simplistic.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, that's great. And the fights? Do you get big fights? Come on, you're a rock band.
No one's a diva. There are no egos, but I have been known to go, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'm not bad.
No,
But no, I've had
Shouldn't put you
moments
on the
where I'm
spot
like,
though,
right,
so.
I need to stop now.
No, that's
I
it.
know. I thought I need to stop now, because if I don't stop what I'm doing, I'm going to end up shouting at somebody.
Yeah.
But that's no fault of anyone else's. That's just the fact, we're three guys who are we're passionate about what we're doing.
Yeah.
There's never any you're this. Everything comes from a place of love, and I think that's really important. Once we put the instruments down, we go grab a drink, grab some fresh air. Everything's fine.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny. The reason I asked that was because actually I was practicing last night with my twins, and like I say, they're only 10, but they're practicing for a concert at the end of the year, which they're going to do at the school with one of their friends. And I was like, "You got to play every day." And they were like, no, I don't need to.
Yeah.
We know the songs. And I'm like, I don't care if you know them. You don't know them well enough. And so I sit down and play with them. And they're doing pretty simple stuff like Twist and Shout from Beatles and stuff like that. But it's what I like about it. It's simple stuff, but it can be quite progressively technical if you want.
Yeah.
Like the bass can start really simple, but as they get into it, they can really, take it up a notch. And we were all getting quite stressed with each other last night. And I was like, and I was getting really angry, and I'm like, this is supposed to be enjoyable. And I said to my wife, I can see why rock bands just end up falling apart, because when you're all together and you, like you say, you're coming at it from a place of wanting this to be the best you can do, and so you end up getting angry, and it's like, this is good, only 10-year-old boys. So anyway, it's all good fun. But no, I've never really been in a rock band, if you know what I mean. So I guess I would just get too angry.
I think that's it. And I think if you can write an angry song, you can take some of your frustration out in that. I think that also does the world of good. My dad says, "Why didn't you write songs like this or like that, and songs about people being happy?" It's because, Dad, the world isn't necessarily a happy place all the time. And to me, happy. I love this girl. She loves me. To me, them songs don't say anything. It's stuff like we've got songs like Conveyor Belt, which is a new one of ours.
Yeah.
It's all about everyone's got heroes, but you don't really know what they're like. You've got them on the surface, but underneath, once you get to really know what they're like. But I won't go into detail. I won't name anything, but there are people that we've known who have known other people, and we've gone, we shouldn't know this, and we think we don't want to know this, because it sullies that what you think about them. It doesn't take away anything from what they've done, like musically or where they've acted in something. But it sort of taints it in your mind a little bit for what they're like.
Old adage, and then never meet your heroes.
Yeah. And thankfully, I've never had that issue, but there are people that we know that have had that.
But it's true, because I think, I often think like I can tell my mental state from what I'm listening to. Like when I'm angry, I chuck on some Eminem. That's my kind of go-to anger. And it's weird because I haven't listened to any for ages. So it must be okay. But music it's a very emotional thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Very powerful.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So obviously it's mainly rock that you're into, but do you personally have any other kind of music that you like? Or?
I grew up listening to what my dad listened to. My dad listens to T-Rex. Big Elvis fan.
Yeah, okay.
So from there, through the darkness, Guns N' Roses. And then I sort of worked it back then, because Guns N' Roses were such a huge influence in my learning how to play for such a long time. And I started going, well, what did Slash listen to? Well, B.B. King and all the old blues masters, which is what influenced his playing. And that's how I tried to get into other stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I'll happily listen to, whether it's Slipknot, I'll listen to Freddie King. And then when my lady puts on like Taylor Swift, I'm not like, I'll turn it off, I'm not listening to that. I'll sit there going, shake it off. Then I'll catch myself what I'm doing. But yeah, I'll try and listen to as much as I can. I'm not as jaded as I used to be. It's like there was Guns N' Roses and that was it, until I started to get a bit more mature.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting because there's definitely I found myself even like just the other day tinkering around on the guitar, playing some Ed Sheeran songs, and I would never have thought of myself as an Ed Sheeran fan. But then, as I started to play some of them, I thought these are quite clever, actually. They're really basic chords, but the way he's put them together is actually really there's something really good about this.
Yeah,
and you suddenly realise there's much more to it than just that kind of pop surface, if you like. And so I really admire anyone that can write songs. To be honest with you, I can't do it myself. But
what's irritating is like you'll listen to someone like Ed Sheeran, like you say, you'll go, actually that's really good. Then you start getting annoyed at yourself for liking it. I shouldn't like this.
yeah,
I'm going to go back to what I'm putting on. At least that's how I was. Then a few years ago, I discovered a guy called Des Rocks and his band. Anyone ever asks about it, I always say the same thing. It's like you've got Elvis, Roy Orbison, Brian May, and you just put them in one big leather jacket and you've sent them off walking through New York. And that's what his music's like. And he combines blues, rock and roll, modern rock and roll, and sort of electronic elements as well.
Yeah, okay.
And he really is the face of modern rock and roll going forward.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely electric show, and the way he dresses, and he's got like the custom jumpsuits on, like Elvis would have had, and his hair, and everything is amazing about him. And then on the other side, I've just started recently listening to a band called The Horns, who are this sort of punky, rocky sort of female-fronted band with a girl who looks like she could be 1970s Stevie Nicks, and it's that sort of stuff where it's really powerful and really emotional stuff that it's been written. And I'm just trying to find newer bands like that now. Because sooner or later, people like the Rolling Stones aren't going to be here.
Yeah.
And you're going to need new stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, there's so many people I admire out there. I don't think I've really got a particular personal style myself, but I guess probably one of the guitar players I would have to say that I just would love to be able to play like is John Mayer.
Yeah.
Just incredibly good. Yeah. But anyway, we keep playing on, which was one of the questions I was going to ask you. So, given a wish, any player, dead or alive, who would you want to be on stage with?
Oh, God. I'm going to say Des Rocks. I could say Van Halen. I could say Jimi Hendrix, but I want to say him because he's just so fresh, so electric, and he's so charismatic when you're watching him, and the way he interacts with the crowd, the way he writes songs, the way he moves on stage. I try and do a lot of what I do based on the stuff that he does.
Yeah, okay.
So like, he interacts with the crowd, and he moves in such a way that is amazing. I saw him, and he's got this Squire Strat, and I'm going, it's amazing what you can do with that's such a basic thing. But it turns out it's like one of these 80s Squire ones, and it's for Squire, it's quite high end.
Yeah.
And some of the things he does, the sounds he makes, I'd love to. Like, that he is the one person I go, on stage with him. Yeah. And I'd do it every night.
How funny. Oh, that's great. And you mentioned Jimi Hendrix then. I got a shock the other day. He was only 27 when he died.
And sort of think, 27 Club.
Yeah. Imagine it's just mind-boggling, isn't it? He had so much more in him. But
I think what's amazing is the fact that he was so much bigger over here than in the States.
Yeah. No, that's great. So obviously, you mentioned earlier you do play a bit of acoustic. Do you still play the acoustic, or are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an Epiphone EJ200 with the cutaway.
Okay.
Big super jumbo thing.
Yeah.
And I've often thought, what if I moved that on and I had something different? And I thought that, like a lot of things, nothing sounds as big and as full as that. I think the only thing I'd ever consider selling it for would be one of the Gretsch Ranchers. These big, massive Gretsch guitars. But they're really nice. I think I saw one the other day for like £500 for an acoustic.
Which is not too bad, is it? Yeah.
It isn't, no, especially for what you're getting. It's based on like the Falcon sort of range.
Yeah.
But this one I've got now, it would have been the Gibson version, but it's my dream acoustic.
Yeah,
it's huge and it's lovely neck, and the sound is fantastic out of it.
Yeah. It's funny because someone said to me the other day, because I try and play every day just to keep, it's just a little thing I try and do. And somebody said to me once, if you have an acoustic and you just leave it lying around, it's so much easier. Like, it's so true. If I put it away in the lounge,
out of sight,
where it normally is, I just forget, and then I come in and I'm busy, and I come in and it's like it's in the kitchen, and my wife's going, "Why the hell have you left your guitar?" And I'll pick it up and I just play it for 5 minutes or whatever, and you just leave it lying around. I thought that was really good advice, but that's the great thing about an acoustic.
I think I'm happy to
just
take it anywhere. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. So, and what's your favourite band? Obviously, you said about Des. Obviously, Des Rocks.
I think after Des Rocks, it's going to be Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes.
Yeah, okay.
Frank Carter, and I think how he changes and change from album to album. You've got a really heavy sound on Blossoms, and then when they brought out Dark Rainbow, the most recent one, it's very atmospheric, and I think it's probably one of the most beautiful albums I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the middle, you've got angry stuff, you've got punky stuff, you've got rocky stuff, and yeah, Frank Carter as a vocalist, if I could sound like anyone, it'd be him. That power and aggression that he puts into stuff. Yeah. And you've got all that backed up by Dean on this telly with slamming that neck pickup on, and it's just so rich and full.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like. And all the songs, like you can shout all the songs.
Yeah.
Get proper to them.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Oh, that's awesome, Ben. So you've got your guitar there. You're going to give us a little display.
Yeah. Okay.
Haggis-Drum and strings sets.
Oh, I haven't got my hack. I've got me. Okay. This isn't me Haggis-Drum.
No, that's okay.
However, it's still strung with Charlie and John's. This is one that I've built. It's a mahogany telly style body, one piece.
Okay.
Roasted maple neck, Bakelite pickguard. I don't know what the pickup is. People always say, "Oh, what pickup's in that?" Because it doesn't sound like a telly or an Esquire, so I don't know. A mate gave it to me. All I know is it's on the back. It says broadcaster number 3, March 2012, and that's all the information I've got to go on.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a beast.
One of a kind.
It really is.
It looks a beauty. Let's give it a whirl.
Thank you.
Sounds like awesome, anyway. Mate. Sounds awesome. And
I don't like playing on camera. What if I something up?
Oh, that's fantastic. I just wanted people to hear what Charlie and John's strings sounded like. That's all. No.
They are.
That's awesome, mate.
They really are the best. They're bright. They're strong. They last ages. You don't feel like you can't throw them around.
Yeah.
They last forever. I don't really change my strings as much as I probably should do.
Yeah.
And I know that I can pick this up. They're not going to have slipped. They're not going to be dull. They're not going to be gross to handle. And they'll sound like if you can get strings 10, 20 times the price. To me, these stack up better than anything I've ever played. Before I played these, it was D'Addario.
Yeah, okay.
And before that, it was Ernie Ball. And I found that Ernie Ball strings went very dead very quickly.
Yeah.
D'Addarios were great, and I played them for ages. But after playing these really are the best sounding strings you can get.
I really appreciate you saying that, Ben, because that's from the heart. No, I didn't pay you to say that.
No, exactly, yeah, and I wouldn't put stuff like when I've done gig posters and I've done stuff.
Yeah.
Wolves and Alcatraz are endorsed by these companies, whether it's Richter Straps or it's Haggis-Drum or it's you guys. I would never let something like that be put against the band if I didn't think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play a Viking on stage at the Sugar Mill in Stoke in front of 100 people if I didn't believe that what I was playing was any good.
Yeah, 100%.
Then there's a reason I recommend these strings to everyone that I meet. No,
we really appreciate that, mate. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks very much for your time, Ben. It's been great to catch up with you.
Thank you.
And so you've given it, and that's great because you've given me a lot of things to think about in terms of what to listen to as well. Because it's always nice. I love talking to people about their likes, and you just pick up so much out there. There's so much out there to learn and stuff I've never heard of before. So I love it.
I think there's too many people that listen to all the old stuff all the time, and you get so many gatekeeper sort of people going, "Oh well, if this person isn't playing it, I'm not interested."
Yeah,
and I don't think you can afford to be like that anymore.
No, 100%, 100%.
I
But I
remember
do
listening.
also like recommendations because you can waste a lot of time trying to listen to new stuff as well. And it is, sometimes, when you hear something and you think, that's just awesome, I love that. The stuff sometimes takes you a while to get into it. When somebody recommends something, I always put a bit more effort into listening to that, if you know what I mean. Because I think, there must be something in it. Even if I don't get it straight away, there's probably something a bit more to this that I need to get out of it, if that makes sense. So it's good to catch up with you, Ben. Awesome. So keep playing those challenge.
I remember listening to Black Stone Cherry. Yes, I will, and I'll be having some more for soon. Anyway, because I need some from Acoustic.
Good man. Good man.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thanks for coming on.